Hello, everybody. Happy Independence Day as we are at July the 4th, 2025. And I hope you all are having a safe and happy 3-day weekend. We are at Friday Fun Day, second edition of Friday Fun Day. Last week we did replay baseball. That was recorded, and unfortunately I hit the mute button about 58 minutes in, so the last portion of that was muted. So hopefully we have a better chance here now that we're live. Might need to take this light off here. Maybe that's just too much light there. All right. Friday Fun Day. It is Payoff Pitch's turn. You say the focus is off. Not sure why the focus would be off. It's on autofocus. Not sure what would be causing that, because it's on focus on this webcam. So I'm not sure why it would be saying it's off. Is it still off? Do I need to move some stuff around maybe? I don't know. Pixelated, huh? Huh, that's weird. I don't know. My laptop says I'm getting good signal from my internet, so I don't know why it would be doing that. It's really bad. I'll have to cancel this and just make it a recording and come out later. Let me see on my end what it's doing here. So let me take a look as I look at it through my lens. Come on. See what it's doing here. Hold the phone. Let me see what it's doing. See if I can get what I need to get here. Let me look at mine on my cell phone. On my cell phone, it seems like it's pretty clear to me. I don't know. How's it looking on you guys? It's coming in better now. Okay, so maybe it just improved. Maybe it just took a second for it to improve. I don't know. Hey, Brian B., is the audio still cutting out? I can't listen to it on my phone because I'll get echoes, but is the audio okay, so you said it sounds better. Okay. All right. Well, that's what I wanted to hear, was that it was, going better. All right. Thank you very much. And Brian B., since you are here, I will let you manage the 76 Reds when we get to critical situations of pitching changes and so forth. There will be a DH just like there was in both of these World Series. So you won't worry about pinch hitting for the pitcher. Just simply have to worry about pitching changes and defensive substitutions and all that kind of good stuff. All right. So let's get back to what I was talking about before we had those problems. This is Friday Fun Day, Payoff Pitch's turn. It's another game that I have, and I've played a lot, but I haven't played a lot of it lately. Last time I played Payoff Pitch is when I was doing the 2022 Yankee replay that I got frustrated with because there were too many strikeouts. But that's been a while. So it's been a while since I played. I did play one practice game the other day just to try to get my feet wet again and try to figure out my best way to play it, because I do a hybrid of dice and fast action cards. So I generally use fast action cards for runner advancement and things like that, but I'll do error checks and steals using the charts, and of course rare plays on the charts as well. Unfortunately, Cesar Geronimo is only given a C. So again, Payoff Pitch, one of the reasons why I shunned away from this game a little bit. The game mechanics are wonderful, but the ratings, I don't know where they're getting the ratings from, because it's just not good at times. That's just the way that is. It is what it is, as they say. It is what it is. So anyway, we'll drive forward here. And we will start things off with an interview from Sparky Anderson comparing these two teams.
Tough division. Is it too early to begin comparing the '84 Tigers with the Cincinnati clubs you had in the '70s?
Yeah, Bobby, because that was 9 years, and those guys averaged 96 victories a year. When you ask the club to do that, that's an awful lot of wins. We've averaged 98 with 92 last year and 104 this year for 2 years. If we go 7 more years and keep the pace, then we'll sit down and compare them.
You faced Dick Williams in a World Series before. In 1972, his Oakland A's beat the Reds in 7. Is Sparky Anderson any different 12 years later?
I'm saying older, uglier, but the same, got more wrinkles now, Bobby. But
all right, so they're talking about the '84 World Series, so we don't need to get into that. I just wanted to kind of give you a little take of what he was talking about, comparing the two teams. As he said, it's kind of almost an apples and oranges comparison, because the Tigers just had the one good year where Cincinnati had multiple good years. So I tend to agree with them on that. All right, let's bring this light back, because I think, it's a lot of glare there, though. But if I don't have it, it seems like there's not enough light. So I don't know. Let me play with the light here a little bit. See if I can't. Well, I don't want that much light, that's for sure. Maybe that's, I don't know. Is that too dark for you guys? Can you see this? Is it light enough on here? Or I'm afraid to put more light. It's going to be too much glare on there. So I really don't want to do that. All right. So starting lineups. And these are the actual lineups of Game 1 of the 1984 World Series for the Tigers, because they face Mark Thurman, a lefty, and then we facing Don Gullett, a lefty. So they've got the right-handed hitting lineup in there with Herndon in left and Garbe as the DH and Castillo at third. So sitting on the bench for the Tigers will be left-handed hitting Bergman, Grubb, Jones, and the switch hitter Johnson. Now for the Reds, they have their lineup that they used in Game 1 of the '76 World Series, because they faced Doyle Alexander, a righty, and they're facing Jack Morris, a righty. So it's pretty much standard lineup with Dreesen as the DH. So that's what we got. Got our dice here. I got one red die just to kind of represent. Kenny and I haven't played. I did one practice game, but I haven't played payoff pitch in probably 6 months. So this is the first try at it. So hopefully I won't screw it up too much. I've got my charts here for the rare plays and for base stealing. If I want to steal a base, I do have the optional jump chart I'm going to use. I do have the fast action cards for runner advancement, things like that. Maybe on bunts, I'll do the same thing if I decide to bunt, although I'm not much of a bunter, especially with no pitchers hitting. I don't see any reason to bunt. So unless the situation really calls for it, I don't really foresee doing that. Take this down one notch, one more. Here we go. All right, trying to get it where the whole line score will show up. This thing will stay steady for me. Stay up here. There we go. Okay, I think it's the best I'm going to do with what I got. So anyway, there's your benches and bullpens for both teams. For whatever reason, Tigers have one extra bench player. I don't know if they carried one less pitcher or what the story was, but bullpen arms are the same. Basically, the Tigers use 3 starters, and the Reds use 4 starters. That's why they have one extra player there. Jack Billingham in the '76 series only appeared as a relief pitcher, so that's what he's rated for. That's what he's in here now for, is that. So each team does have 7 on the bench. Well, I've only got the Reds for 6 on the bench, and the Tigers was 7. So, and actually, the Tigers had an extra relief pitcher that I could have put on here, Sid Manji. He was on the '84 roster, but I figured since they were already +1 here, let's go ahead and drop Manji, and we'll just go with the 2 left-handers, Hernandez and Scherer. They were the primary guys. Nope, that's not Johnny bench. That's the regular bench. So, all right. So Jack Morris and Don Gullett. Morris was 11-3 with an ERA of 3 in 1976. Jack Morris 19-11 with a 3.60 earned run average in 1984. So, like I said, for you guys that really play payoff pitch a lot or whatnot, you see me make something that's a mistake, tell me, and that way I can correct it. Because like I said, I haven't played this game in a long time. So So, but it is Friday Fun Day, and I figured it was a good time to do that. Like I said, normally these would be recorded on Thursday and uploaded on Friday. But since today was July 4th on a Friday, I figured why not do it? People are off work, and they have a chance to maybe catch it live. So we got our dice, and we're ready to go. Don Gullett to Lou Whitaker. That is a total of 7. 7 is tough. That's a 69. Whitaker against the left-hander tough only goes to 56. 69 is a ground ball to short. And Concepcion makes the play, and we're underway. It's Sparky Bowl Game 1. And if this is popular and people like this game or this matchup or whatever, then I'll play a 7-game series. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. All right, here is Alan Trammell. 5 is in play, 44. In play, 44 only goes to 32, so 44 is a pop-up to Pete Rose at third. And there are 2 away. So Gullett does his best to keep 2 guys that you need to keep off the bases, and here comes Kirk Gibson. We get a 5, which is in play again, but at 83, that's going to be a ground ball to second. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Don Gullett here in the top of the first. Go to the bottom of the first, Detroit nothing, and the Reds coming to bat against Jack Morris. Pete Rose, your leadoff guy. If I can turn this a little bit that way to make sure. I don't want to lose that either, but I don't want to lose the dice tray. So, all right, here's Pete Rose, switch hitter. That's a 4, which is ballpark. We're going to Riverfront Stadium for the first time. That's a 57, so it's going to be in play. So we go to Pete Rose in play. Reroll Pete Rose's in play against a righty. He needs a 35 or less. Doesn't. He gets a 45, so it's a ground ball right back to Morris for an easy play. And again, if I do something wrong, somebody shout out and let me know, and I'll correct it. Hello, Doug. Happy Independence Day to you as well. Here's Ken Griffey. That's a 7, which is tough, 35. And that's a double for Ken Griffey. Look at that, tough 35, tough the 7. The 7's a tough. The 35 is a double for Ken Griffey. So he fought off a very tough Jack Morris pitch and gets himself a double. That'll bring up Joe Morgan with Griffey at second base and 1 out. That's a 6, which is Patient 64. Patient 64 will be a base on balls. Joe Morgan drew a lot of walks in 1976, and that's one of them right there. So now first and second for Cincinnati with only 1 out. It does set up a double play. Tony Perez is your batter. And the setup here is new for me as well, so I'm experimenting with this as well. All right, here is Tony Perez. We get an 8, which is tough. 07, that's a strikeout, and a much-needed strikeout for Jack Morris. That is a big out, number 2. And now the designated hitter, Dan Dreesen, no slouch. He's up to the plate. That's a 7, which is tough again. 56, that's out of range. It'll be a fly to left, and that's the end of the first inning. No score for either side. The Reds put 2 on, but can't do anything about it to advance the runners. And we go to the second inning, no score. I hope I haven't messed up anything so far on the rules. Of course, we hadn't had any big checks yet either, so it's been pretty simple so far. All right, here is Lance Parrish. 8 is tough, 79, and that's going to be a fly to center. Geronimo, despite his C rating, makes the catch because it was not a range play. All right, here's Larry Herndon. He crushes lefties at 314. Doesn't do much against righties, 239. He was definitely a platoon player in 1984. 7 is tough, 67. It only goes to 51. 67 is a ground ball to Morgan. 2 down. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Barbaro Garbe. He played a lot of positions. He played 6 different positions for the Tigers in 84. Also hit 300 against lefties. Again, he was used mostly against left-handed pitching. 6 is Patient, 98 though. That's going to be way out of range, and that's the fly to left. And that's going to end the inning. So another 1, 2, 3 inning for Gullett. It's gone 6 up and 6 down against this Tiger lineup. Go to the bottom of the second. Still no score. And Big George Foster for the Reds will lead things off. He is appropriately rated as an A range in left field. I don't know why Geronimo is so lowly rated on center field, but that's a different discussion for a different day. Morris to Foster. That's a 10, which is Patient. 73, though. It's out of range. 73 to fly to center. And Chet Lemon will haul it in. 1 down for Johnny Bench. Had a not so good 76 regular season. Of course, he was the MVP in the World Series in 76. 7 is Tough 80. And a Tough 80 is going to be a fly out to Lemon again. So 2 flyouts to center field. And that brings up Cesar Geronimo. Hit 327 against the righties, only 250 against the lefties. But again, he's got a C rating. And I think that arm 10 is pretty weak too, from what I can gather. Very average on the error as well with a C. I'm sorry, with a 3, I should say. Morris 4 is Ballpark, and that's a 31. So 31 again is in. I'm sorry, that's the wheelhouse now. 31 is the wheelhouse. So we're going to the wheelhouse on Geronimo. 1 to 4 is a home run. He only had 2 home runs all year, but anything 53 or less is still a hit. That's a 24, so that will be a base hit for Geronimo. So a 2-out single for Geronimo, and that will bring up the number 9 man. I did steal 22 bases. The question is, do they want to try to steal with Concepcion up there? Or do you want to, let's see, what's the arm on Parrish? Parrish's arm is a 2. So if I look at my stolen base chart, 2, and Geronimo is a B. 2B is normal. It'd be a normal stealing chance if they wanted to try it. You want to send him, Brian B? All right. Now, I want to see if he can get the jump, because that's my first tell, is see if he gets the jump or not. For those that don't know, this comes with the game. It used to be a downloadable thing, but now I believe it comes with the game parts already. So the hold rating on Morris is a 7. So right now we're in the 7 area. I'm going to roll 1d10 and see what happens. I'm sorry, no, the jump rating on Geronimo is a 4. That's his jump rating. So 4 and a 7. We cross-reference 4 and 7. So 4 is here with a 7. So a 0 to 56 he will attempt. So he's got to get the jump. 0 to 56. He does get the jump. It's a 51, so he will go. All right, so he is going to go. And he's a B2 because the arm on Parrish is a 2 and his steal is a B. So B2 puts him right here in the normal range. So I'm going to roll 2 D10s. And we get a 75, and that means he's safe. So stolen base for Geronimo. He will steal second base. And now he's in scoring position with 2 outs for Concepcion. As the Reds get aggressive here in the bottom of the second, trying to get that first run across. Concepcion is the batter. 10 for Morris is Patient. 13, that's a walk, so he didn't have to steal. He would have reached there on the walk anyway, but we didn't know that going in. But now it brings up Pete Rose with 2 on and 2 outs. Second inning in a row. Second time in a row that the Reds have 2 on in the first inning, with 2 outs. So they have a chance to make something happen if Pete Rose can do it. Oh, I didn't think about that, Captain. I will do that time. I will do that next time. Again, a lot of these things I'm just catching up on. So, all right, we got tough, but we got a rare play. Hello, Chuck. We have a rare play with the 00. It is a tough rare play. So we go to the tough rare play with people on base. So let me find the runners on base tough result. I found one page of it. Where's the other page? Tough with runners on base. There we go. Okay. So it's basically covering two charts. You got the 0 through 34 at the bottom of this chart, and then the top portion of this chart, depending on what the D10s have to say. But it is a rare play. And that is a 91. So we're going to the second page of the toughness rare play. 91 with runners on base. Ump forgets the count and calls ball 4, ball 3. The batter strikes out on next pitch. Roll 1d6. If the result is 4, the batter argues with the ump about the pitch count and ultimately gets ejected. If the batter is ejected, the first batter for the current pitching team rolls on his tough section next inning. Do we want to use this? Do we want to have somebody possibly get ejected? I don't know if we want to do that in this kind of a game or not. The batter strikes out on the next pitch and we rolled 1d6 and so we get a 4 or not. I don't know. We don't get a 4, so there's no ejection, but this is saying Pete Rose strikes out. So Pete Rose will strike out as the umpire, whoever that was. I didn't check and see who the 76 umpires were. Whatever the home plate umpire was in game 1, apparently he missed the call, and it's counted as a strikeout. So they strike out with 2 on and 2 outs to end the inning. And the Reds have left 4 runners on base in 2 innings that could come back to get them. All right, top of the third, and Chet Lemon is your batter. Hello, Clinton. Good to see you. We almost had Pete Rose get ejected for arguing balls and strikes, but we did not. So here is Chet Bitter Lemon against Gullett. We get a 9, which is in play, but it's an 84, and that's going to take us to a ground ball to Concepcion, who should be in the Hall of Fame. 1 away. And here's Darrell Evans. Lefty on lefty matchup. 6 is Patient 22, and that's a base on balls. So the first Detroit Tiger base runner of the game is a walk to Darrell Evans here in the 3rd inning. Evans is aboard, brings up third baseman Marty Castillo. Hello, Jeremy. Happy 4th of July for you. Independence Day. 6 is Patient 94. 94 is a fly to left. That is out number 2. And now it's up to Lou Whitaker. Keep the inning going. He grounded to short his first time up. 9 is in play, 41, but that's out of range. It only goes to 29. 41 is a ground ball right back to Gullett to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Tigers there. They get a walk and nothing else. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Still no score from Riverfront Stadium. Game 1 of an imaginary Sparky Anderson World Series. All right, Jack Morris, the pitcher, facing Griffey. Griffey doubled his first time up. Found the tough 35 result and got a double out of it. This is a 3, which is tough again, 26, but this time he will go down on strikes. 1 away. And that brings up Little Joe. We get an 8, which is tough again, 23, but Little Joe fights that off for a base hit. So Morgan gets himself a base hit, and you know he's looking to run. So Morgan stole 60 bases in 1976. He is again, a steal of 5. The jump is a 7, or the hold is a 7, I should say. So let's see if he can get the jump. Cross-reference a 5 and a 7. So a 0 to 56, he will get the jump here on 0 through 56. 58, he does not get the jump. So Morris was able to hold him on tight, and 58 says he has to hold. So Morris going to keep Joe Morgan from getting the lead. Maybe a couple throws to first, and he got back in time and just can't get that lead. So here is Tony Perez, and I do like trying to establish a lead. I don't like just the freelancing stolen bases. That's in any game, strat or anything else. So here's Perez. That's a 4, which is ballpark 54, and that's in the wheelhouse. So Tony Perez's wheelhouse, a 1 to 38 is going to be a 2-run homer. Anything up to 72 is a base hit. That is a 0-6, and that is long, and that is gone. Tony Perez, a 2-run home run off of Jack Morris, and the Reds take a 2-0 lead. Look at it again, 0-6 on the wheelhouse. Easily fit there, a 2-run bomb for Tony Perez. So 2-0, and here comes Dan Dreesen. Morris has to shake this off. 8 is tough, 72. Gets a fly out to Lemon for out number 2. And that brings up George Foster, Australian for home run. 3 is tough, 65, and that's a base hit for Foster. He fights off the tough pitch. Gets himself a base hit, a 2-out single. Hold on, folks. Sorry for the interruption. Let's keep going. Foster gets the 2-out single. He could be looking to steal. His steal is a B again. His steal number is a 3 to get the jump. Jump number is a 3, I should say. It's a 3 and a 7, not going to be quite as good. He needs a 0 through 49 to get the jump. It is an 18. He does get the jump. So he will get the jump. Parrish is a 2. We know that already. And Foster is a B. So we're back into the normal category again. Stealing second base. Stealing second base. We're in the B2 category. So basically needs a 43 or higher to be safe. That's a 35. He's going to get caught stealing. So Foster caught stealing to end the inning. But the Reds get 2 runs on the 2-run homer from Tony Perez. And at the end of 3, it's the Reds 2 and the Tigers nothing. It'll be Trammell, Gibson, and Parrish due up for the Tigers. Tabby is downstairs enjoying her fresh air. It's warm, but it's not oppressively warm. So we got the back sliding door open so she can get fresh air and sunshine, and she's loving it. And she says, "I'm not even bothering with you, dude." Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I keep remembering rolling the 2d6s. But he got caught stealing anyway, so. Hello, Marlon. So Gullett, 4 is Patient, 28, and Patient 28 is a base on balls. So Trammell draws a leadoff walk. Now you can run against Johnny Bench at your own risk. His arm is a 2, just like Parrish, but he's a D. So the D2, even if he got the jump, a D2 would make him poor chance. So Trammell's not going anywhere. All right, here's Kirk Gibson. Gibson grounded to second his first time up. We get a 4, which is Patient 64. Patient 64 is out of range. 64 is a fly to left. And there's 1 away. 1 down. Here's Parrish. Whoa, we got hop and dice. Let's re-roll that. All right, we got a 12, which is defense. All right, we got our first defensive check, and that's an 84. 84 defense. So, get to my chart here. My defensive chart. Where did you go? You're in here somewhere. There you are. Defense, 84. We are checking the error rating of Concepcion. And we're going to use the fast action card to figure out if he makes an error or not. So Concepcion, his error is a 3. So on the error chart here for Cincinnati, 1 to 38 is going to be an error. 39 to 99 is going to be, I'm going to use the dice. Forget the fast action cards. 1 to 38, he makes an error. 39 or higher, he makes the play. 63, he makes the play. Now I think now at this point we check for double play chances. He's a 6. He's an 8. So let's see what we get here. We get an 8, so it's not going to be a double play. It'll be a fielder's choice. So it's a fielder's choice. It's going to go 6 to 4. And I know there's different ways you could play that. You could play with the fast action cards or whatever. So, are you talking about checking this chart here? Is that what you're talking about? Because this says ground ball plus advance on this. Okay, so it's ground ball plus advance. Okay, so it's not a fielder's choice. It's a ground ball plus advance. So it will not be a fielder's choice. It's simply going to be a 6 to 3 ground out with the runner going to second base. So we have Trammell at second, 2 down for Larry. Thank you for that, Ben. Like I said, I'm very rusty this game, so some of the nuances with the base running would be the things that would get me. I still remember with 2 outs and anybody runs at a 6 or better scores on a single automatically. I do remember that part. All right, so Herndon, the batter, against Gullett. That's a 5, which is in play 32, and that's a base hit. And since Trammell run, and I just said that, so Trammell runs at a 6, so with 2 outs, he scores automatically. That's the rule I've always played with, and if somebody has anything different, let me know. But that's the way I've always played it. With 2 outs and a 6 or better runner, they score from second base automatically. Or I should say get 2 bases automatically. So RBI single from Herndon makes it a 2-1 ball game. And that'll bring up Barbaro Garbe. That's a 2. Defense again. It's a 29. So defense 29. We're checking the range of the center fielder, and the very underrated Geronimo has a range check on his hands. And we said Geronimo's range, according to the way he's carded, is only a C, which I think is a joke. That's what they give him. So 1 to 55, and he gets a base hit. 56 or higher, and the inning's over. That's a 60, so he does make the play to end the inning. So Geronimo takes away a potential extra base hit, but the Tigers get a run. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. It's now 2-1 in favor of the Reds. Here's Johnny Bench. He was at the plate when Foster was caught stealing. That's an 8, which is tough, 61, and that's a strikeout on Bench. That is the 4th strikeout for Jack Morse. And here's Geronimo, speaking of Geronimo. That's a 10, which is patient, 37, and that's going to be a triple for Cesar Geronimo. Look at that. A 10 is patient. That's a 37 on Geronimo against righties. That's a triple. So Cesar Geronimo with a 1-out triple, and the Tigers will have to play the infield in. I don't think there's any question about that. Now, this is where I'm going to get a little sticky because I'm not sure on the infield in stuff. I don't know if there's a chart for it. So I may need some assistance and some guidance on this. I know this ground out. So I'll have to try to figure that out when it comes up. Hello, Allard. Good to see you. All right, so a runner at third in Geronimo. Concepcion, the batter, 1 out, infield is in. There is a chart. Okay. All right, so we got an 8, which is tough, 40. And it doesn't matter. It's a base hit for Concepcion, so it's a moot point. Concepcion singles and brings home Geronimo, and the Reds reclaim a 2-run lead. They're up 3-1 on Jack Morris and the Tigers. Concepcion, 21 steals. So can he get the lead? He's a 4 against the 7, and I will roll the 2d6s this time to check for a pickoff. All right, so 4 and a 7. He needs a 56 or better, and I'm going to roll the 2d6s to make sure we don't get a pickoff. There are 7, so I'm assuming we don't get a pickoff. That's a 10. He gets the lead. So Concepcion gets the lead, and he is a C. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's a C and a 2. So a C and a 2 on the base stealing chart. C and a 2 is fair. Do you really want to risk him when he's just fair? I don't know. Brian B., you tell me. You're the manager. I got a fair result, which he's safe on a 60 to 99. He's pretty much out on anything else. So let me know if you want to send him or not. My inclination is to hold him and not send him, especially with the top of the order coming up. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Going to hold him. All right, here's Pete Rose. Get a 7, which is tough, 0-5, and that is, unfortunately for Pete Rose, a strikeout. 5th strikeout for Morris. But he's trailing 3-1. So here's Griffey. That's a 10, which is patient, 65, and that's just out of range. 65 to fly to left to end the inning. But the Reds get another run. Triple by Geronimo and a single by Concepcion take care of all of that. And at the end of 4, it is 3-1 Reds. Gullett coming back out. His fatigue is a 6. Morris's is a 7. We're just in the 5th, so we're good to go. I do remember this game kind of really penalizes you for a fatigue pitcher. They got those fatigue pitcher cards that are just horrendous. You get into those, you're really in trouble. All right, here's Chet Lemon. 5 is in play, 39, and that's a base hit for Chet Lemon against the lefty. Against the righty, he would have been out. Against the lefty, it's a base hit. That's why he hit 384 against lefties and only 225 against righties. That's why splits matter. Can't play a game without splits. It's just not real baseball without splits. So why anybody would want payoff pitch with the non-splits, I don't understand, but I think it's just lazy playing. Honest opinion. Just tell it like it is. Here's Darrell Evans. 10 is ballpark. 62, that's in play. So we go to Darrell Evans in play. Lefty on lefty, needs a 34 or less. Doesn't get it. 81 is a fly to center. That's 1 away. For Marty Castillo. 5 is in play, and that's an 08. So 08 in play is a triple for Marty Castillo. He obviously had a few triples because they're rating him on his card, so that's a triple for Castillo. It's an RBI triple to cut the lead to 3-2. Look at it again. A 5 is in play, and an 08 against lefties is a triple. Would have been a single against a righty, but it's a triple against the lefty. It is now a 3-2 game. And with 1 out, the Reds are going to bring the infield in against Lou Whitaker. They're going to have to. That is a 3, which is in play. 67. That's out of range. 67, a ground ball to short. Okay, now this is where I'm going to have my issues because I don't know what chart I'm looking at. Infield in. Infield in. This is I'm looking at the ground out chart, but I got a feeling you're going to tell me it's a different chart than this. Because I don't see it. All right, hold on. If run on third base and corners, go the infield in chart. I didn't know there was an infield in chart. Is there an infield in chart? Let me see if I can find the infield in chart. That's another thing bad about this game is there's a lot of charts. But let me find. Okay, here we go. Infield in, play at home. So I'm thinking this is the one I'm supposed to be using. Infield in, right here. I think it's I think it's this page right here, if I'm not mistaken. Right here, upper left-hand corner, right in here. All right. Reroll the 2d6 and total them and check below. All right. Now I'm assuming that before I roll, I have the option of not sending him. If I look at this and say, hey, wait a minute, you got to get a 9 or higher, basically. Looks like to me, oh, wait a minute, 2 to 5, he advances. Other runners hold. Runner on third, out at home, batter's safe. So it seems like me, you got to roll a 9 or a 10, just a 9 or higher to even have a chance. So I'm wondering if I should just hold the guy. Because I just don't like these chances here with the infield in. If you roll a 6 through 8, runner third's out at home. 2 through 5, batter is out, runner on first advances, other runners hold. Let's see here. If bases are loaded and doesn't, so re-roll all 4 dice and refer to infield in, play at home chart, which is, I guess, over here. So I really don't like. I mean, you really have to have a 9 through 12 to even have a chance. So I'm going to hold the runner at third. They're going to hold the runner at third and get the out at first. I just don't like those numbers. I trust Alan Trammell to get the hit more than me trying to score on a play like that. So 2 outs. Runner is at third for Alan Trammell. But at least I know now where the chart is. So that's a good thing. Nice to know where things are. And if I do turn this into a 7-game series, maybe by the time I hit game 5 or 6, it'll get back in my memory. Here's Gullett to Trammell. 8 is tough, 90, so that's going to end the inning. Ground ball to short, we'll do it. Tigers get a run. They crawl back to 3-2, but not being risky with the infield in, they do not score anymore. So it's a 3-2 ball game. And it'll be Morgan, Perez, and Dreesen due up for the Reds here in the bottom of the 5th against Jack Morris. 6 is Patient, 49. Patient 49 is going to be a walk for Little Joe. And, of course, he's going to be looking to run. He couldn't get the jump last time. Let's see if he can get the jump this time. Again, we go to our jump chart. The hold is a 7, and the steal is a 5. So once again, 0 through 56, he gets the jump, and we roll the 2d10s to make sure we don't, 2d6s to make sure we don't get a 12. We do not, but that's a 96, so he cannot get the jump again. He will have to hold again, so they're doing a good job of holding Morgan close. And here's Tony Perez. 10 is Patient, 99, though, it's a fly to the left. Pretty much a 99 is a fly to the left no matter what you roll. Whether it's tough or in play or whatever. That's pretty much going to be the case, I think. And now I just dropped one of the D10s. That's always annoying to drop a die. Nobody's ever done that before, I know. I've got to be the only person that has ever done that. Now I can't find out where it rolled to. I may have to go get another D10. Oh, there it is. I found it. It was behind me. It rolled backwards. It had backspin. It's like a pitching wedge. It had a backspin to it. So, Dan Dreesen, the batter. Morgan at first. That's a 9, which is tough. 0-2. That's going to be a strikeout. That's a 6 strikeout for Morris. Oh, I used to be on the high school golf team way back in the day. I mean, when I was in high school and college, I was shooting, low 80s. But that was years ago. If I went out there now, I doubt I could break 100. So, but yeah, I used to quite a bit. And I've actually, a game that intrigues me. It's been out a while, but it does intrigue me. But it looks like it's a cash cow if you get into it. Is History Maker Golf, because those courses are expensive. If you, I mean, you can get the golfer sets for pretty cheap, decent price, and the game for a decent price. But you start trying to, build up a course collection, you're in a lot of money there. So I don't know. I may check it out on Black Friday. Maybe when it's on sale, maybe I'll delve into it because the game looks very interesting. So, but we'll see. I don't know. Here's Foster. That's a 2, which is in play, and that's a 40. In play 40 is out of range. It's going to be a pop up to third, and Castillo will make the catch to end the inning. So at the end of 5 complete, it's Cincinnati 3 and Detroit 2. I never broke 80 even when I was at my best. That's a hill I never was able to climb. I think 82 was the lowest I ever got on either 81 or 82 was the lowest I ever got on an 18 hole round or whatever. But usually I played after work, so I only played 9 holes. So my goal was to always try to break 40. I could never break 40. I got 41 one time, I think. But. All right, so here is Kirk Gibson. That's a 3, which is in play 71. That's way out of range. That ball was short. 1 away. And here's Lance Parrish. That's a 9, which is in play 22. That's got positive. Base hit for Lance Parrish. 1 out single for Lance Parrish, and he has no threat to run. Don't have to worry about him trying to steal a base. Here's Larry Herndon. 9 is in play 84. That's definitely out of range. It's the ground ball to short. Double play chances 6 and 8, but that's a 9, so it'll be just a fielder's choice. I know some people re-roll that. I keep the original D6 rolls on that when I can think to do it. So fielder's choice. New runner is Herndon, but he's not going anywhere either. So not against Johnny Bench. He's not going to try anything. 2 outs now. Runner at first. Starting to degrade again. Don't tell me we're running out of. Now, see, on my end, it's fine. Oh, no, now it is starting to do. Okay. I don't know how to fix that, folks. I don't know of any way to do that. I don't know what's going on with it's not. I'm convinced it is not a problem on my end. I'm convinced it's a YouTube app problem because my internet on my laptop and on my phone shows I have great internet, strong signals. So I don't know what's causing this. I think I'm going to have to get a separate, not use the YouTube app, and do an OBS or something, some kind of software, because the YouTube app, I think, is causing problems there. Hopefully it'll clear up. Hello, Scooney. Good to see you. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but hopefully at least the audio is still good. I don't know. But here's the pitch to Garbe. We get a 3, and that's in play 31. Is a wild pitch on Don Gullett. See, I did remember that. It's hard to remember. Sometimes people forget that. But you roll a 30 to a 32, and that's a wild pitch. So wild pitch on Gullett. That 31. You get the 31 right here. 30 to 32 is a wild pitch. So it is a wild pitch. I don't know. Do you guys think I should? Let's see here. Yes, Scooney, I may have to do that. So is it frozen completely now? Reboot? Yeah, I'm going to have to. Okay. Wait a minute. Looks better now. Okay. It's back, so I won't reboot. Okay. Is it good or not? That's my question. Looks like it's okay to me from what I'm seeing, but okay. Now, did you guys catch the wild pitch that just happened? Because I don't know. Yeah, 31 is a wild pitch because the 30 to 32. I almost missed it, but I did catch myself at the very end there. So it is a wild pitch. So Garbe is going to bat now with the runner in scoring position, and that runner is Herndon. He does run at a 6. So on a base hit, he will score automatically on Barbaro Garbe's single if he gets a base hit. 4 is Patient 55 against a lefty. That's going to be out of range. It's a ground ball to third. Rose has it, and the inning is over. You said Task Manager is my friend. Would that clear it up if I went to Task Manager instead of rebooting the whole computer? Do you think that would work better? I don't know. Well, I can show you his Bourbone's card and see what you think. Where are you, Bourbon? You're over here. There's Pedro Bourbon, 4-3 and a 385. Not too bad. He has he didn't give up many home runs because he's only got two. He's got 2 ballpark cards. Got a bunch of in plays and a couple of toughs, but no wheelhouses. So I don't know. It doesn't look like too bad of a card to me. I don't know. You can guess judge for yourself. It looks like a pretty decent card to me. Of course, Raleigh Eastwick is their closer with 26 saves. So, all right. So we are starting the bottom of the 6th, and Johnny Bench will lead things off against Jack Morris. We got a 6, which is Patient 89, though. It's going to be a ground ball to Trammell at shortstop, 1 away. And here's Cesar Geronimo. We get an 8, which is tough, 93, and that's going to be a fly to right field, where Gibson puts it away. 2 down for Concepcion. That's an 8, which is tough, and we got a 55, and that's out of range. So that's going to be a ground ball to Castillo. 1-2-3 inning for Jack Morris. So at the end of 6, it is still 3-2 Cincinnati over the Tigers. Now, I've got to remember about fatigue here. Somebody refresh my memory on fatigue. Let me look at the rule book real quick, because we're in the 7th inning and Gullett has a 6 for fatigue, but he's only given up 2 runs. So I believe it's based on how many runs you give up, if I remember correctly. I think if you give up more than 3 runs, then the fatigue checks in. Let me look at the rules here real quick. Pitcher stamina. Let's see here. Yeah, it says 2 or less runs, he can continue at full strength. So if he gives up the 3rd run, then I think the fatigue will come into play. But you can correct me on that if that's not the answer. There's Chet Lemon. We got a 6, which is Patient 03. That's going to be a walk to Chet Lemon. Leadoff walk to Lemon. And again, Johnny Bench deters a lot of steal chances. So with him being a D stealer, a D and a 2 is not a good. That's a poor choice. So we're not going to go there. We're going to have Darrell Evans swing away. That's a 3, which is in play 30. But again, 30 is a wild pitch. So 2nd wild pitch of the game for Don Gullett. I don't know how many wild pitches he had in real world, but that's his 2nd wild pitch in as many innings. And that not only takes away the double play, it puts the tying run in scoring position. That's a 9, which is in play 30 again. What do you do? I mean, to be realistic here, you're not going to have all these wild pitches. So I'm going to take away that wild pitch. This is ridiculous. Johnny Bench will be blocking this crap anyway. So I'm going to override that wild pitch roll and redo everything. Well, I just picked everything up, so I got to re-roll now. 8 is tough, 87, and that is a ground ball to 2nd. So that will get the runner to 3rd. with 1 out. So Evans at least got the runner over. Now the infield's going to have to come in again for Marty Castillo. Infield is in. We get a 10, ballpark, 51, and that's in the wheelhouse. So wheelhouse against lefties. Castillo looking to give the Tigers a run to put them in the lead. 1-19 will give the Tigers the lead. Anything else, he'll tie the game, 64 or less. 39, that's going to be a single, and that will tie the ball game. So Marty Castillo singles, and now I believe Gullett is subject to fatigue, but you can tell me if I'm wrong on that. I think he is subject to fatigue now. And how about Castillo? He has singled and tripled, got 2 runs batted in. He's like the player of the game for the Tigers right now. All right, so now that he's fatigued, we're going to have to go to the bullpen because I'm not using a fatigue pitcher card. There's no way I'm not using a fatigue pitcher card. So Gullett is going to leave. He can lose it. He cannot win it. He's going to go 6 1/3. And he's going to give up, let's see, how many hits did he give up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, just 5 hits. 3 runs, but the runner on first is his responsibility. Walks and strikeouts. Walked 1, 2, 3. I've got him for 3 walks. Not many strikeouts. In fact, I have him for 0 strikeouts. No Tiger batter struck out against Gullett. He's only got 2 tough ones, 7 and 8, but they just didn't come up enough. So we had 0 strikeouts. So now who's going to come in for the Reds is the question. You got the lefty, but he's only one lefty. Everything else is, well, Gibson's a lefty behind him. So Will McEnany will be coming on to pitch for the Reds with 2 out of 3 left-handers coming up. It's the only lefty in the bullpen, but this is a key spot. They need to use him. So Will McEnany will be coming on for Cincinnati since Brian B. is not here. And to help manage the Reds, I will have to do it on my own. I am not using that pitcher fatigue card. No way. All right. Here's Whitaker against McEnany. Lefty on lefty now. 7 is tough. 37, and that's a strikeout. Would have been a base hit against a righty, but not against the lefty. That's a strikeout. 2 down for Alan Trammell. First, runner on first is Castillo with 2 outs. 7 is tough again. 47 against the lefty on a tough. It's going to be a ground ball right back to McEnany. So McEnany gets out of the mess, but we do have a tie game at 3, so Gullett will get a no decision, as it turns out. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time here in Cincinnati. I'm going to shoe with the music and everything because I don't trust the internet, and I want to make sure we get this game in. So Jack Morris is out. His fatigue is a 7. So now let me see here. If he is a 7, then I believe he is now fatigued because he gave up 3 runs. Yeah, he is tired now. So Morris is tired because he gave up the 3 runs. So I'm going to pull him. And we'll go to the bullpen for Detroit. Now, Morris will also get a no decision. So he goes 6 innings. He gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like 7 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. 1 home run. He walks 2. He walked Morgan and he walked Concepcion. Oh, he walked Morgan twice. That makes him 3 walks. And he struck out 6. So up for the Reds, it will be the top of the order, Rose, Griffey, and Morgan. So we're looking at a left-hander. A little bit too early for Willie Hernandez. So they will go with Bill Scherer. He will pitch for the Reds in the future. But Bill Scherer, one of their left-handers, will be coming on. They still have closer Willie Hernandez as a lefty. But Bill Scherer will be on to face switch hitting Pete Rose. 7 is Patient, and that's a 10, so that's going to be a walk for Rose. As the Reds try to reclaim the lead, starting out with a Pete Rose walk. It's a good way to start. He's not going to steal, but he certainly gets on base, and that's what they need, are base runners. Here's Griffey. Terrible bunter with an F bunter, so I'm not bunting. Sure, 2 is Tough. 19, that's a strikeout. 1 away for Joe Morgan. 5 is Patient, 67, and that's a double for Joe Morgan. Look at that. 65 to 67, or I'm sorry, 65 to 69 is a double for Joe Morgan. Now, what will Pete Rose do? Rose runs at, well, this is where I'll use the fast action card, I guess. We'll check the double, and it says runner advances 2 bases. So I'll make that easier just using the fast action card for that. It says that Pete Rose will stop at third base. So now runners are at second and third with 1 out. Tony Perez will get the free pass. They will walk him intentionally to set up a force play at any base and not deal with Perez. They will go after the left-handed hitting Dreesen, but he's the DH, so the Reds will counter with a pinch hitter. They will pull Dreesen because Dreesen can't hit lefties very well at all. And the Reds will go with Bob Bailey. Bob Bailey will come in and be the new DH for Dreesen. But Sparky says not so fast. We're going to pull Shearer. And they will go with Senor Smoke, Aurelio Lopez, to try to get out of the jam. So Aurelio Lopez will come in and be the new pitcher to face Bailey. Reds could counter with a lefty pinch hitter of their own to replace Bailey, but Bailey's a pretty good hitter. So Lum's 342 though, so they're going to pull Bailey and go with Lum as a pinch hitter. So Bailey was used to bring out the right-handed pitcher, and then they go to Mike Lum. Lum will take over as the new designated hitter. It's a lot of wheels turning here. For Shearer, he goes 2 walks and a strikeout, pitches a third of an inning, gives up a hit. He's responsible for all 3 runners on base. So the bases are loaded with 1 out. Lum does not have a very good double play rating, so the infield is going to come in. Infield will be in. Infield is in. That is a 6, which is tough. 49 for Lum, and Lum gets himself a base hit. How about that? Base hit for Mike Lum. Now, I know some people might play over it's tough. You only get 1 base advance. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm pretty much for base running advance. I'm using fast action cards, so we'll just go with whatever the fast action card says. And it does say 1 base. Everybody gets 1 base. So it's a 1 base advancement for everybody. Rose scores. Morgan will stop at third. Bases are still loaded for George Foster, but now the Reds lead it 4-3. Sparky beside himself. Infield. Well, now they're going to play back for the double play because Foster's an 8, so they have a good chance at a double play. 10 is Patient, 86, and that's going to be a ground ball to short, but that's a 10, so it's just going to be a fielder's choice. The run will score. They couldn't turn the double play. Scoring is Morgan. Reds now lead it by the score of 5-3. Trying to turn that double play, and it just didn't work out for them. The D10s were too high. So, no double play. I always use when I can think about it, I use the original D6. I don't change that. All right, 7 is tough. 16, that'll be a strikeout. To end the inning, the strikeout bench to end the inning, but the Reds get 2 runs, take a 5-3 lead as we go to the 8th inning. That'll be all for McEnany as well. The Reds will go to their bullpen for right-handed action. Although Gibson is the leadoff man, but the other 2 are right-handed. So we're going to go to the bullpen. And despite the pleas of Brian B., we are going to use Pedro Borbon. He will come in and pitch the 8th, and they'll save Weestwick for the 9th. So new pitcher is Pedro Borbon. And let's see, Lopez, where's your pitcher there? So Borbon will be the new pitcher. He'll be facing Gibson, Parrish, and probably a pinch hitter for Herndon, because Herndon does not hit righties well at all. So the lefties on the bench, the best guy to use is Rupert Jones. So Rupert Jones will pinch hit for Herndon and stay in the game to play left field. But that's after Gibson and Parrish hit. So we have Gibson and Parrish. Herndon will leave. Jones will take over. All right, so Pedro Borbon starts things off. Hello, Tony. Happy Independence Day to you as well. 7 is tough. 79. 79 is going to be a fly to center. So he gets Gibson 1 away. And now here's Lance Parrish. 5-3 Reds, top of the 8th. That's a 7, which is tough again. 87. That's a ground ball to short. Concepcion is there. 2 down. To me, Payoff Pitch is a fun game in spurts. I don't know if I want to do a season replay with it. Maybe I'll try it one time, but it just seems like in short bursts, it's a fun game. But with other games out there, I kind of like them better. Just my opinion. And everybody has their own opinion, obviously. All right, here's Rupert Jones pinch hitting for Herndon. Jones hits .288 against right-handed pitching. 8 is in play, 07, and that's a triple for Rupert Jones. A pinch hit triple for Rupert Jones. A 2-out pinch hit triple. Look at the card again. 8 is in play, 07 against a right-hander is a triple. So pinch hit triple for Rupert Jones. And that brings up Barbaro Garbe, but he will be lifted as well, as I believe they'll go to another lefty off the bench. Could be Johnny Grubb. Could be Hojo, a switch hitter. They're going to go with Johnny Grubb. He will stay in the game as the DH in place of Garbe. So Grubb will be the new DH. And he's up there with 2 outs and a runner at third. Yeah, I bought things off of Moonlight Grams before. Spent lots of money, but got good stuff. So, but you can get carried away there. I did one time. I kind of overspent more than what I wanted to. All right, 9 is in play, 69, and that's going to be a pop-up to first to end the inning. So Grubb can't get it done. Borbon does get it done, and he will make way for Raleigh Eastwick in the 9th. But right now, we go to the bottom of the 8th, still 5-3. And coming up for the Reds, it'll be Geronimo, Concepcion, and Rose. So Lopez back out. Aurelio Lopez facing Geronimo. 8 is patient out. All right, this is a new one for me. Patient out L5. That's kind of weird. 65. Patient would be an out, fly to left, but this is patient out L5. Okay, it says here, if Walker hit batter, keep that. Otherwise, it's an out. Okay, well, it's not a walk or a hit batter because patient 65 is out of range. So does that mean we go to 65 for a fly to left, or we keep the L5? Not that it matters. It's an out's an out in this situation. I just want to know for future reference. Okay, change the hits to L5. Otherwise, we take the original out. So in this case, it's a fly to left. All right. So Concepcion is your batter. That's a 3-5 or 8 rather. Same result, but this time it's a walk. So you're saying if it's a walk, you keep a walk. So this is going to be a walk to Concepcion. It will not be an L5 because patient 12 gives him a walk. So Concepcion is aboard with a 1-out walk. And Guillermo, don't call me Willie Hernandez, is loosening for the Tigers because they don't want this game to get out of hand. They're going to let Lopez face Rose, but after that, they got lefties coming up. They're going to Hernandez. We get a 9, which is tough, 63, and that's a fly to right for out number 2. Now, do they want to? Yeah, they're going to go ahead and make the move. They're going to bring in Willie Hernandez to try to get this last out. Might as well use him. Why not? Doesn't hurt. Hernandez is coming in. Lopez goes in. Lopez pitches. Let's see, you got 2 outs there. So he pitches an inning and a third. Gives up a walk and a strikeout. And 1 hit. Nothing else. All right, so Ken Griffey will be facing Willie Hernandez with 2 outs and the runner Concepcion at first. That's a 10, which is tough, 25, and that is a strikeout to end the inning. So Willie Hernandez did his job. We go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Tigers, and they'll have to do it against Raleigh Eastwick, the Reds closer. Raleigh Eastwick with 26 saves. Eastwick will be coming on to face Lemon, Evans, and Castillo, but there are pinch hitters that will be coming up. And we're going to go pinch hitter for Lemon right off the bat because Lemon does not hit lefties well at all. So they're going to bring in Dave Bergman to pinch hit for Lemon. And if they need a new center fielder, they can always turn to Rusty Kuntz. But right now it's going to be Dave Bergman, a lefty. He will pinch hit here in the 9th against Raleigh Eastwick. A 5-3 game. That's a 10, which is in play, but a 69, and that's going to make it a ground ball to short. So Bergman is out. Brings up Daryl Evans. Castillo on deck. I'd normally pinch hit for him, but he's got a single and a triple, so might be taking bad karma to do that. 6 is tough, 66. That's out of range. That's going to be a fly to left, so 2 down. All right, here's Castillo, only a 214 hitter. But I think even despite the fact he's had a triple and a single, I think you got to go with the guy with the better average. So they're going with Hojo, Howard Johnson. Switch hitter, he will pinch hit. 2 outs and the base is clear. Howard Johnson going to take his go at Eastwick. See if he can do anything. 4 is tough, 89. So that's out of range. It's a ground ball to Concepcion at short, and there's your ball game. This one belongs to the Reds, as someone once said. As the Reds defeat the Tigers by the final score of 5-3. The winning pitcher is going to be Will McEnany. McEnany gets the win in relief. The loss will go to, see who gave up the 2 runs. That was Bill Shearer. So Shearer takes the loss as he gave up 2 runs. The save goes to Eastwick. So let's see here what we got for hits and whatnot. For the Reds get 9. I've got them for 9 hits. I don't believe either team made an error. I think we were error free. Left on base for the Reds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got them for 9 left on. For the Tigers, 3 runs. Let's see. First of all, McEnany pitched the 8th. He got the last 2 outs of the 7th and pitched the 8th. So he went an inning and 2/3. Did McEnany. And he gave up 1 hit, which was the triple. No runs. Struck out 1. Walked nobody. And Eastwick pitched the 9th. Gave up nothing. 3 outs in a row. So just 6 hits for the Tigers. They're left on base 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got them for 6 left on. All this is unofficial. But there you go. Final score from Riverfront Stadium. It is the Cincinnati Reds of 1976 defeating the 84 Tigers by the score of 5-3. Kenyon, that's up in the air. That is definitely up in the air. Depends on how popular this video gets. If people seem to like it, then I'll do a 7-game series. If it's something people shove off and don't really care about, then I'll just do a one and done and call it Fun Day Friday and be done with it. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. I'll give it a day or two and see what kind of reception this gets. And because a lot of people don't really care for payoff pitch baseball, which is a shame. It's generally a good game, a fun game, but I don't know. So, I mean, this was fun to me, but would I want to do, a season with it or a 7-game replay with it? I don't know. Might, just because the teams are intriguing, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. I could do this in Inside Pitch as well because I've got both seasons on Inside Pitch. So maybe if I do a 7-game series, I do the rest of the games on Inside Pitch. That's a possibility. Because I mainly just wanted to show off Payoff Pitch for this because I haven't played it in a while. So if I do a 7-game series, I might flip it over to Payoff to Inside Pitch to do it. But I don't know. But I'm already doing Inside Pitch with 77. So I kind of like having different games to put out there. So it's hard to say. I haven't really figured it out yet what I want to do. Don't know. If I do a Payoff Pitch, I want to, I may do it just to get more practice at it, because I really need to get better at the rules. But I don't know. It's a crapshoot right now. I'm not sure what I want to do. But from here, anyway, Reds 5, Tigers 3. So is this thing even? Am I circling in the sand today again or what? I don't see my hand. Oh, there we go. Okay, there. It's a delay. That's pretty good, Chuck. It is both. Absolutely. It is definitely both. So, all right. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all enjoy your Independence Day, 4th of July. It's nice that it came on a Friday, so you naturally have a 3-day weekend. When it's in the middle of the week, a lot of people have to go to work the next day. But this puts it right into a 3-day weekend for you. So just encourage you to enjoy the fireworks wherever they may be in your area. But if you handle fireworks yourself, of course, be careful with that because people get hurt on that all the time. I want to see you back here healthy for future games. And also, if you partake of certain beverages, try to do so in moderation so that, or if you do, then stay home. Don't drive anywhere. That's the big thing. But that's it from here. I'm sure people will stream tonight regardless of being July 4th or not. I don't know. I'll wait and see if anybody's on tonight. If nobody's on tonight, maybe I'll throw on an Inside Pitch game. It is the next Inside Pitch scheduled game is St. Louis hosting Atlanta, 1977 inside pitch. Despite the fact it's Atlanta, it is Phil Necro pitching against Bob Forsch, so it's a good pitching matchup one way or the other. So this one's up in the air. Do I come back and do a 7-game series? And if so, do I keep it on payoff pitch or do I switch off to inside pitch? Because like I said, I can do either one because I've got both these seasons on inside pitch as well. So hard to say. Just play it by ear, I guess. But anyway, that's good from here. I got some honeydew things I want to get done today. Laundry and so forth. And have to clean out Tabby's litter box because I usually do that every Friday. So I want to keep that on a schedule so I can take it to the landfill tomorrow. So I'll be doing that, taking care of Tabby, make sure she's being happy. I think it's getting too warm outside. I think I'm going to have to close that door and turn the AC on, and she's just going to have to deal with that. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. Reds over the Tigers, 5-3.